Those who would give up essential liberties to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Words by Benjamin Franklin, printed in Votes and Proceedings of the House of Representatives, 1755 to 1756. This founding father wanted to supply frontier settlers with the means to adequately defend themselves if they were not able to do so. Now, we in America may not live on the frontier anymore, not most of us at least. However, the threat that he wanted to help the settlers against were murderers, not bears, not wolves, or other manner of creatures that you would find on the frontier, but man. In the wake of mass shootings, progressives called for so-called common sense gun control to stop gun crime and violent crime. Now, these are to limit firearms. So, do more firearms mean more crime? Can they help people instead? And would common sense gun control work? First, do more guns mean more crime? The Washington Post says that the U.S. has 4.2 homicides per 100,000, with 88.8 guns per 100 residents, while the UK has 6.6 guns per 100 residents and only 1.6 homicide rate. However, these numbers are misleading as the UK doesn't count homicides the same way that the US does. They only count homicides that land in convictions. However, the US has 466 violent crimes per 100,000 residents, while the UK, with its complete ban on handguns and many long rifle calibers, has 2,000 per 100,000 residents. And firearm homicides doubled after 1996 when they banned handguns between the years 1996 and 2002. The Harvard Journal Law and Public Policy found a negative trend in homicides, with more guns meaning less crime across the international community. Now, with this negative trend, is there a way that guns can be more beneficial for ordinary citizens? According to the CDC, 200,000 to 3 million defensive gun uses prevent crime each year. Women defend themselves up to 200,000 times a year against sexual abuse. A firearm is a tool. Whether you're young, old, weak, or strong, it equalizes us, so that even an old woman would be able to defend herself against a big, strong, scary monster, essentially, or criminal. The statistics that the CDC brought up would mean that guns are 80 times more likely to save a life than to take one. Now, common sense gun control calls for universal background checks so that those with mental illness cannot buy a firearm. Felons, domestic abusers, and those institutionalized against their will already are unable to acquire firearms. These background checks, including the universal background checks to stop mental illness, did not stop the Oregon shooter from acquiring 14 guns legally. Just as gun-free zones do not stop criminals who already want to break the law. I was in one of these zones in another state, so were I inclined, I would not be able to defend myself or my girlfriend. After we ate, a man approached and yelled at us to follow him behind a building to an ATM because he was angry that when he would ask for change or money from people, nobody was giving him anything. He was yelling so loud that my girlfriend was completely frozen in fear and had no idea what was even going on. And he was gripping something the whole time tight inside of the bag on his chest. I couldn't see what was in there, but I can only guess. And when he went behind the building where there was nobody else at, he expected us to follow. And I grabbed my girlfriend's arm and I just kept walking straight away. In 2014, 6 men in China killed 26 people and injured 150 more, cutting down those who were unable to get away inside of areas that you can't have guns. China does not allow private citizens to defend themselves with firearms. Guns are simply tools, and if you take those tools away, people will still find a way to hurt each other, and you are only going to be hurting those who are law-abiding. Now, in conclusion, there is a negative correlation in the international community that shows that more guns actually does mean less crime. And according to these numbers by the CDC, guns are 80 times more likely to save someone than they are to kill someone. And mass killers will still find a way to acquire firearms or knives, anything, illegally, legally, it doesn't matter. And they will still be out there until we actually find the real reason why all of these things are happening. Remember that when seconds count, police are only minutes away. Thank you.